Greetings, my name is Dr. Laura Christianson. I'm an assistant professor and extension specialist in the Department of Crop Sciences at the University of Illinois. Today, we'll be talking about drainage water recycling. The practice of drainage water recycling is where you capture excess water drained from your farm, sometimes along with surface runoff water. You store that water on your farm and then reuse or recycle that stored water later in the season to irrigate when there's a water deficit. Although precipitation in the Midwest is generally plentiful, we do rain-fed agriculture, predominantly here after all, the timing and amount of precipitation do not always coincide with crop water needs. On this graph, the difference in the orange line, the evapotranspiration, and the blue line, the rainfall, especially during the summer months, means that in some years, during these summer months, supplemental irrigation could provide a crop yield benefit. The obvious benefit here with drainage water recycling is the potential for crop yield improvement due to this supplemental irrigation. But there's also a real benefit to water quality in that with drainage water recycling, we can essentially create zero discharge drainage systems. If we send less water downstream, we're also sending less nitrogen downstream. The practice of drainage water recycling doesn't dictate what type of irrigation is used. When we talk about this practice in the Midwest, subsurface irrigation often comes to mind, but certainly that doesn't need to be exclusively the case. In fact, it may be more likely that sprinkler irrigation or center pivot irrigation would be used with drainage water recycling, especially if the drainage system is already installed. There are a handful of good drainage water recycling case study research sites across the Midwest. Those are illustrated with the black diamonds on this map. And because this practice is still relatively new, the best place to go for information about drainage water recycling is a website called transformingdrainage.org. That website has a really great multi-page fact sheet on drainage water recycling, as well as a really cool pond sizing online calculator, so you can run some pond sizing calcs yourself if you're interested in this practice. This is a relatively infrastructure-heavy practice. All these system components add up in terms of cost, which you can see from the table. But the last note, when I think about drainage systems in 100 years, I really think the practice of drainage water recycling will be widespread. That might seem radical to say, but 100 years ago, when we were putting tile in by hand, I don't think we could have envisioned the sophisticated tile drainage systems and networks that we have across the Midwest today. A drainage water recycling future is exciting to think about from both a crop production and a water quality perspective. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time.